In 2017, I started a book called The True Self, The Healing Journey Inward. And this book was an inspiration that came within me. I can remember writing this book at 4 a.m. before I would go to my corporate job. And any moment that I had, I was so driven, so eager to just have this book birth. And over the years, through moments of clarity and moments of confusion, moments of stillness, moments of struggle, I wrote and I rewrote these pages. By the time I set it aside in 2021, it had become more than a book. It had become a mirror of my own unfolding of my experiences. So the true self is not a manual, it's not a method. It's a companion for those walking the pathless path, the journey back home, as Ram Dass beautifully puts it. It reflects the evolution of my own understanding, shaped by my silence, my inquiry, and the grace of direct experience with the self. So, years later, now I return to these words with fresh eyes and a quieter mind, and I offer them freely to those who feel called to listen to them, not as answers, but as invitations back to truth. So use your own discretion of what resonates, and I hope that you will enjoy this journey that we have together. May they serve as a gentle reminder of what you already are. Welcome home. Chapter 1: The Entanglement. Most people, to varied degrees, have forgotten who they truly are. They move through life believing they've got things figured out, yet something remains missing. Each day they search for that missing piece, turning over every stone, analyzing every moment, hoping to discover the version of life that finally feels whole. Deep down, everybody longs for this missing piece. They sense it holds the key to everything. From the depths of their soul, they know that finding it would bring a sense of lasting completeness. Without it, they feel trapped in an endless search, falling deeper into the rabbit hole, always hoping the next thing will finally be the one. In truth, this missing piece isn't missing at all. It's always been within us, ever present and eternal. Many people call it names: the soul, the essence, the higher self, the God within. But in this book, it's referred to as the true self. The term distinguishes what is true from what is false, while the phrase true self offers a helpful starting point. No words can fully capture its infinite, wise, and loving presence. It's not something that can be understood through reading alone. It must be experienced directly. Every person longs to connect with this deeper part of themselves. That longing drives the constant search through emotions, thoughts, and external pursuits in hopes of rediscovering what has already been there. This book is not about recognizing the true self. It's about building a lasting connection and allowing the true self to become the guiding force in life. Once the true self is realized, it cannot be unrealized. And with each moment, it expands consciousness in ways that are profound and transformative, leading to a life of complete freedom and wholeness. The stuck feeling. Many people at some point in their lives reach a place where they feel stuck. This feeling can arise at any age and often returns many times in a lifetime. It usually comes after they've tried everything they thought would bring them fulfillment, such as achieving goals, building a family, buying a dream home, traveling the world, or securing a high paying job, but find that something feels off and missing. Despite doing everything right, a quiet dissatisfaction lingers underneath the surface. They may feel trapped in their own minds, constantly chasing the next thing, hoping it will finally bring peace. But in deep moments of inner struggle, a quiet message sometimes arises from within. It doesn't shout, but is unmistakably clear. Be still, listen. This message brings a sense of calm in the midst of a storm, a gentle reassurance that everything will be okay. But often, people hear the message, feel its comfort briefly, and then move on, never pausing to explore what the message it whispers or embrace the wisdom of the stillness. This book invites you to go deeper, not just to hear the message, but to meet the messenger, to turn inward and discover the source of that still, wise voice, the true self. It's not about adding something new, but uncovering what has always been there, patiently waiting to be remembered. Many people will encounter periods of deep suffering multiple times throughout their lives. Often, the instinct is to apply a quick fix. Quick fixes are anything that soothes the discomfort just enough to keep going. But without true resolution, the same patterns return, repeating themselves over and over again. There's a saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. By that definition, much of humanity lives in a form of insanity, not because people are broken, but because they are disconnected from the deeper truth of who they truly are. This form of insanity doesn't always look dramatic. It's not loud or chaotic on the outside. In fact, it often hides behind a well-managed life. The difference between someone who is labeled clinically insane and the average person is not the presence of irrational thoughts or overwhelming emotions. It's how those inner experiences are expressed. One may act them out, the other may suppress them, but the inner turmoil is often just as intense. When a person begins to attune to the deeper part of themselves, the part which watches, listens, and knows, they start to recognize the madness of the stories we tell ourselves. To illustrate, here are a few examples of common stories which you may relate to. I feel lonely and judge myself harshly because no one gets me, and that's why I'm all alone. I'm an outcast of society without a partner or friends. A belief arises, I am not worthy. That belief fuels a search for someone to complete me because something is broken in me and needs to be fixed. Once I find a relationship, it soothes the discomfort for a period of time, but then the loneliness returns. The same story plays out in different ways throughout my life, echoing the same belief, I am not worthy. There's resistance to my job. It feels draining and I dislike what I do, yet I stay for the security it offers. I work insane hours trying to please everyone and climb the corporate ladder. My life balance is depleted, and I know deep within myself something is out of alignment. Thoughts arise. I'm a failure for not leaving. Then others. It's responsible to stay. Resentment and fear builds. Nothing changes. The same story continues to play out for years. Their mind races day and night. I keep control of everything in my life by being on top of everything, right down to the last to-do list. People are impressed by my level of excellence. What they do not see is when I fall short of my unachievable expectations of myself, a sense of failure appears. When this happens, I control more and more. The thoughts race without any peace. The story continues to loop, where the more I control everything, the more I break at every level of my being. Thoughts arise. I am not enough. The mind comes in to tell me if I do this or that, then I will be in complete control. The story loop continues. Each of these stories is a loop of thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, one reinforcing another. Though the content varies, the structure is the same. A sense of lack arises. The mind seeks resolution outside of itself. But suffering doesn't come from the world. It comes from identification with the mind's narrative. It's like having a leak in your own house, but calling the plumber to your neighbor's house. The water keeps flooding your space, yet you keep looking for somewhere else to fix it. The house is your sense of self. The leak is the belief in separation. Until you turn inward and recognize the illusion, the cycle continues. And yet most people can recall a moment when the mind grew quiet and something deeper was felt. A walk in nature, a childhood memory, a wedding, the birth of a child. In those moments, there was no striving, no seeking, just eternal presence, peace, stillness, wholeness. That presence was not created by the direct experience, it was revealed through it. What was felt wasn't something new, it was always there underneath the noise of thoughts and emotions. That presence is not a passing state. It is your true nature. It is your true self. It does not come and go. Only the mind's attention does. The invitation is simple. Begin to notice the patterns of the mind, the loops of stories about seeking and resistance. See them clearly without judgment. This seeing is beginning of freedom. The answer you've been searching for has never been outside of you. They arise from the eternal presence within, which has never left you. The birth of the false self. We are all born whole. As infants, we are pure awareness, free, open, and deeply connected to our true nature. A baby doesn't care about status, race, religion, or money. It simply is. It lives in the present moment, responding to energy, not concepts. When someone calm and loving holds the baby relaxes. When held by someone anxious or angry, the baby cries. It's not judging, it's sensing. But this natural state does not last. As we grow, we begin to absorb the beliefs, fears, and expectation of the world around us. Slowly, layers of identity form. We learn what is good and bad, what is acceptable, what is not. We're told who we are, our name, our nationality, our religion, our gender. These labels become the building blocks of the false self. By the age of 5, a child has already begun to form a sense of me based off of external input. This toy is mine. I'm a good boy when I'm quiet. I'm loved when I achieve. These early messages shape how we see ourselves and the world. And because children are still energetically sensitive, they also absorb the emotional patterns of their caregivers, the fear, the shame, the anger, the anxiety, even if there are no words spoken. This is how deep emotional wounds begin. A child who feels unsafe, unseen, unloved may not understand what's happening, but they feel it. And because they don't know how to process these feelings, they push them down. And these unprocessed emotions become part of the false self, always energetically present, but still hidden and active. As we move into adolescence, the false self becomes more complex. We try on different roles, seeking approval, belonging, and identity. We want to fit in, but also to stand out. We crave love, but fear rejection. This inner conflict, the pull between the true self and the false self, creates confusion and suffering. By adulthood, most people are fully identified with the false self. We chase careers, relationships, achievements, believing they'll make us whole. We compare ourselves to others, worry about the future, and replay the past. We live in our heads, disconnected from the stillness within. And when we feel empty, we look outside ourselves for fulfillment, which usually equals more success, more stuff, more validation. The false self is never satisfied because it's built on stories, not truth. It constantly seeks validation through comparison, achievement, and approval. It keeps score. For example, if I have a 4.0 GPA, I'm worth more. If I make 6 figures in a salary, I'm more successful. If I get more likes on my post, I matter more. This game of ego, always measuring, always chasing, and even when someone wins the game, i.e., good job, nice house, happy family, they often feel something is missing. That's the void. the emptiness that no amount of success, no status or stuff can fill. So they keep going, a new car, a promotion, more distractions, more noise, anything to avoid feeling the disconnection inside. But the void is not the problem, it's a signal, it's a call back to what's real. As the Buddha said, pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Suffering begins when we forget who we are, when we trade our natural state of peace for the pursuit of external worth. You were never meant to live in fear, judgment, or lack. You came into this world whole, free, open, and connected to your true nature. That has not changed. The true self never leaves. It's just been buried under layers of stories and conditioning. No relationship, no title, no amount of money can replace that connection because you are already enough. You are already whole. The journey isn't about becoming something better. It's about seeing through the illusion and remembering what's always been true. In Chapter 1.